Hello, beautiful. Welcome to another episode of Meet the Stewmans.
Hey!
Today we're going to talk about date night. A ritual that we practice on the regular.
Yeah.
We were actually just doing it last night.
We did date night last night. Sure did.
And I think that is a key to marriage. I do. I think it's a key to staying together. Our kids love it. Could you get off the fucking phone?
Somebody's at our house.
I don't get who.
Exactly! The guy. I don't
For?
know. I don't know. Jadira went out and took it.
All right.
Yeah.
God damn, I'm trying to shoot a podcast for you over there.
I
looking at the
guess.
phone.
Hey, EMPs are going off right and left. I want to make sure who's at my front door. Comms are down, Stewman. Serious talk.
The communication devices are going
You
down
don't
in
need to
America.
do your
We're
Alex
falling apart,
Jones
Joe Rogan.
voice.
Anyway.
That just I don't know who you are. That just raises your blood pressure. Like you just can't
Alex
help
Jones, yeah, I'd be angry
in that
too.
voice.
Yeah, I'd be angry too.
You know, we saw Kevin Carlson, Tucker Carlson. That's funny. I don't know why. Kevin Carlson. We watched Tucker Carlson interview him, and he's actually a very calm, collected man now.
Because he didn't have nothing to necessarily be angry about at that time. But
He's
a
all
very
angried
loud.
out.
His
Takes a lot
voice
to
is
surprise
like
him
mine
now.
in the sense that he's been very loud for a long time, so his voice has got kind of raspy.
Well, and
Same
he's
with Tony
probably
Robbins.
mentally beaten down. The stuff he's seen, witnessed, knows
Yeah.
about, he's like, it takes a lot to surprise me.
So
I'm
back
very
to
relaxed
date
now.
night. So
back to date night.
We go to date night on every week for almost 10 years now, and our kids know Wednesday is date night.
It's cute. Mom, tonight's date night. They tell me that in the morning. It's adorable.
And you know, I the other day we were in the kitchen and Asher is like eating cereal or something, looking at his phone, and I'm like touching your butt, and we're making suggestive things to each other.
Sarcastic, suggested, like.
Yeah, and I looked over at Asher and I said, Asher, does that bother you? And he goes, no, not at all. And I said, do you like that your parents are in love? And he's like, yeah, I love it.
It's usually cute.
And a lot of kids are like, ooh, that's gross, mom,
Like,
or whatever.
Mom,
Yeah, but our kids aren't
Dad.
like that. They're like, our parents love each other.
The only time we really had to pump the brakes was when Colton was 4, and I always wondered why. Like we're like, Colton, you cannot slap my butt. Stop it. And we realized, oh, it's
Like
because
father, like son.
every time he would walk by, he would slap my butt, and like, what are you doing? No,
He
no,
thought
no.
that's how you show affection.
And we
though.
realized then, like 10 minutes later, you walk by, slap my butt. I was like, I know why he does it now.
I forgot about that.
Ryan, keep your hands to yourself until this boy knows, because we can't just go around and have him slap everybody's butt every time.
Well, I don't slap anybody's butt but yours. But yes, I see.
He's 4. He didn't know how to train. He's like, I love everyone. I'm just going to hit everyone. Just
Yeah.
on their butt. Anyways.
So
No, he really liked it, though. Asher had that, like, some funny smiling face where he, like, as a kid, it made him it makes him feel secure, knowing how his home is full of love.
Yes.
And just,
I believe you're right.
yeah.
And date night is an important ritual for every marriage. Like I believe anybody here's what happens in most marriages that my experience working with people is they go out on dates and then they get in a serious relationship. Maybe they move in together, maybe they get married, and then they stop dating. And then they
really
wonder,
treat each other as like roommates.
yeah, and then they
like,
just become like these
a
roommates that
friend,
occasionally have
yeah.
sex, and they don't practice this ritual of dating. It's
Yeah.
important that you date your mate because you have to show them affection. First of all, we have 4 kids, so it's important for us to just get the hell out of the house.
Yeah.
And it gives us time, right?
And I
like
can
we're
eat
at that
a
phase
meal
of our
without
marriage
somebody
where we have to
needing their milk
put
refilled.
deadbolt locks on doors to just get away and make love, and you know, like it's a lot, right? Kids
Yeah.
burst into our bedroom in the middle of the night, so we have to sleep with our clothes on and stuff because we never know what's gonna come through the door at 3 a.m. Chocolate milk!
Oh my gosh, I'm trying to put on self-tanner this morning, so I just have my pajama pants on, no shirt on, me and Ryan are talking, in comes Colton, and I'm like, oh! Can't even put self-tanner on in the morning. He was not supposed to be awake. It was 6:30.
Yep.
And then he comes in, I'm like, whoa!
He did. He turned around immediately.
Mommy's bronzing. He turned around.
Immediately.
He did see.
Immediately.
Oh,
He turned around.
that boy has
immediately.
seen so much. At 6, he's gonna remember that when he's older.
And so it's important to get out of the house
It is.
and
Yes.
spend some time together. So like last night, we went to this restaurant called Neighborhood Services.
Love it.
And
Favorite.
we like their steak frites. Their
Steak frites.
whatever the fuck it's called. And
Fries, but the French is steak frites.
but they're French fries, so we're American, so like whatever.
You're calling them frites.
And they have this really
Keep
good.
doing it, it's
They
fine.
have this really good voodoo sauce that you dip
Out of control.
you put your dip in, and
So good.
And we have like a regular waitress there and everything.
do.
Yeah,
Crystal.
Crystal. And we were leaving last night, and she didn't wait on us because I didn't know she was there.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh, you guys were here, you know,
My people.
My people.
You gotta ask for
I didn't
me."
know where you were. You got to ask for me." So I didn't see her, so I didn't know that she was there. And we sat outside. We didn't sit in our usual spot. But that's how regimented we are with date night. Is like we go to the same few places, like Capitol Grill, Mi Casina, Neighborhood Services, the Cowboy Club.
Yeah.
Like we it's
We're
nothing.
such creatures of habit.
We are.
We like what
And-
we like.
And we
like
don't
to be
leave within 5
predictable.
miles of the house typically.
Yeah.
We used to go down to downtown Dallas and do date night.
We try and be adventurous, like, oh, we're gonna go to a different. Let's go find a new spot. But then it's hassle, lots of people, lots of like service. Yeah, like we can go. You can really relax when you know the service is going to be great. You know the food's going to be great. And that's the key too about us having the weeknight at that time. Always good. We go to have dinner like at 5:15.
Yeah.
There's always a table ready.
We were there at 5:30 last night.
The food is fantastic, so they're not rushing.
Nobody was there.
And yeah, we get great service. Drinks are always refilled, and it's laid back, and we get to watch the sunset, and it's beautiful.
You know,
So
and
nice.
we really don't leave. Like yesterday, JP messaged me. He's my mechanic, and he had one of my cars, and he goes, "Dude, I can tell you only drive this thing in Collin County. You never take it to Dallas, do you?" And I was like, "No, I don't."
Never.
He's like, "There ain't cracks on the rims. There ain't nothing on the bottom of this thing." It's like, I just stay on Collin County streets, you know? Especially in that car.
Yeah. Which car? Porsche?
The McLaren. He's got the
Okay.
McLaren right
Yeah.
now. But back to the point of date night, we wanted to make it a point to invest in each other. Mm-hmm. And we usually talk about things that we would talk about any other time: work, life, kids, working out, friends,
Yeah.
you know, drama,
Yeah.
TV shows, movies, things,
Yeah.
you know. But it's just a chance to where we're not getting distracted. It's just us. And it's not like we're super, you know, last night I think you were like no, you were pretty dressed up last night.
I wasn't dressed up. I just was.
You looked good last night. But sometimes you could go out to date night wearing something like this, and it doesn't
I
matter.
never
It's not
do.
this like whole.
But I could, but I never do.
It's not this whole ordeal. She does sometimes. Don't let her board. It like
When's the last time have I worn athleisure?
I'm a man. I don't remember that shit, but I know it happened. And so we go.
I was
and
probably pregnant.
we do things to invest in each other and our time. It doesn't have to be an expensive place. Like my favorite place to eat is Mi Casina. You can get in and out of there for $50 if she doesn't drink the house down, you know. And so, which happens occasionally.
Which is no more, like if I drink the house down, it's like 3 margaritas. Like,
3 Mambos is a different animal.
I don't drink Mambos, I drink skinny margaritas. Thank you.
Okay, all right, that is valid. I will. And there's multiple Mi Casinas, so we float around.
We float.
But it's rare that we go somewhere that's like super expensive. That's not the point of it. We went to this place, Fireside, the other day.
Firebirds.
Firebirds.
Yep.
And it's a new place in Frisco where we live. And they were like, "You guys, what is this?" It was a Wednesday. They're like, "What is this special occasion?" And we're like,
They
"We've been
were
doing date night."
floored about our tradition.
We're like, "We've been doing date night for 10 years, so we're trying somebody." We go every Wednesday for 10 years. We're trying somewhere new. It hasn't always been Wednesday, but it's been Wednesday for a long time now. And they actually brought us free dessert. They're like, "This is the cutest
they
thing I have
wrote
ever
on
heard."
the plate, 10 years, 10 to forever.
Yeah.
They were so, like, just because they were so far, like, oh, you have date night every Wednesday for
Every
10
Wednesday.
years?
Yep.
That's so, they were just floored at the romanticism. Like, well, ain't that romantic? But but I think they were floored about the effort. Because so many
That's what
people
it is.
don't care to put that effort in. Yeah.
It's one thing you like go to date once a month or you go a date occasionally. We're very
Yeah.
intentional in our marriage.
So intentional.
I mean, we have to be, or our shit would fall apart. Because I'm a loose cannon, first of all, and I'm all over the place, and I never know about this, that, or the other. And so we have to be intentional in our marriage, or you wouldn't really know what I was up to. I don't know. He's just not home. I don't know what he did today. I don't know what kind of mood he's going to be in. I don't know what stress he's under. I don't know what the hell who he had to fire, who he had to hire, who he's got problems. What client wanted this, that, and other done. It's a lot. And if we don't intentionally do time in our marriage and sit some of that stuff to the side and invest in each other, then it would be very chaotic, our marriage. But I don't think our marriage is chaotic at all.
No.
I mean, maybe you do, but I think
No,
our
I
marriage
don't.
is one of the most dialed in parts of my life because we're intentional on how we do the kids. We're intentional on how we do date night. We're intentional on the time that we spend. Like if I need to say, "Hey, it's Friday, I'm going to the ranch," don't fucking call me. I wouldn't say it like that, but don't call me. I'm going to the ranch. I'm going to go spend some time on the tractor by myself.
I respect that, and I want you to do that.
And it's
I know
never
that's
a thought
like
of what's he really up to.
Yeah,
or what
yeah,
it's like, no, man, this guy's intentional as hell.
Yeah.
He's least likely to be voted romantic, but yet there's a romanticism to him. But I'm a very
in your own way.
But if you would agree with me, I'm a very regimented person.
You are.
And so we make this a part of just like the calendar on the last episode. If you haven't watched the last episode, we talked about how we do our time. But like we're very regimented. I gotta be regimented or I won't happen. Right?
Yeah.
If I say, one day I'll go to the gym, I'm not going to. If I say every day I go to the gym, I go to. If I say every Wednesday we go to date night, that's what I make happen. I need consistency and regimency in my life. And we make time for that. And last night, tell everybody what we did yesterday. What was the big great? You don't have to tell them all of it.
I told this to Jennifer this morning. She's like, "That's brilliant." I'm like, it was the best date night ever. So, one additional thing you gotta keep in mind when you do dinner at like 5:15 is you're done by like 6:17 at the latest. Like, you're in and out of there fast, and you're like, "What are we gonna do now?" Well, for us, we work out just about every day, and we work our butts off at the office every day. So we're both mentally and physically exhausted every day. And so at 6:17, I'm like, "You want some dessert? Because I got a sweet tooth. I love me some bread pudding and some tiramisu, all the things." I'm like, "Dessert? Yes. Do you want the menu? Yes, I do. I want all of it. I love it." Well, I asked him, like, "You don't want dessert?" He's like, "No, I'm tired." I'm like, "Well, it's 6:17.
I thought you said, "Do you want to do something?" I would have totally ate dessert. I thought you said, just right now, the light went. I thought you said, "Do you want to do something else?" And I was like, "I don't want to do anything else." I would have fucking ate dessert. Hell yeah. I apologize. I am sorry, Mrs. Stewman. I misheard you. But I was speaking at Wisdom Council yesterday, and my ear just started ringing, and I couldn't hear out of it. And I'm not blaming that on it, but it's been giving me some problems, and I thought that's what you said. I would have totally fucking ate some dessert. Just saying.
Okay. I don't remember that.
That's hilarious. I thought you said, "Do you want to do something else?" Okay. Anyway, continue your story.
So, well, I did say we can go over to Bottled and Bond and have a dessert.
That's what it was.
That's what
okay.
It was. But we could have eaten dessert there too.
I didn't think of that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I accept your apology. So at 6:17, you're like, "I'm gonna go to bed." I'm like, "But our nanny's gonna be at the house until 8." It's like, I don't want to. If we go home, then I got a mom, and I'm already tired. Like, I don't want to put him to bed. Like, I'd rather be out and just chill, and then come home right at 8, like when she has to bed, and then
3 of our kids take care of themselves. The 2-year-old that's about to be 3, not so much.
Well, and the 6-year-old, if I'm home, he wants to snuggle.
Yeah.
He wants me to snuggle him. He's a lover. He's a mama's boy. He wants to snuggle mama to go to sleep. And I do. If I just let him go to sleep, it will take him 45 minutes to go to sleep. If I lay with him, he'll go to sleep in 3 minutes. Like, at the most. He's so cute. And I'm not going to say no. And then what happens? And then I fall asleep. And then I wake up on the couch, very uncomfortable, at like 11:45. And I'm like, "Oh, my neck." And then I got to move. And it's a process. But last night, this brilliant guy, he's like, "No, tell her to stay there until 8. We'll come home, sneak in, we'll shower, get all cozy, go to bed, and then she can put him to bed and let herself out." It's like, that's amazing. So last night, we get home like at 6:20, and we're like tiptoeing in. We go, nobody sees us. We're like, yes. We go in, lock the door, shower, get all clean, and we're like in the bed, all clean, freshly showered, and like, amazing. The sun is still setting a little bit. It's like 7:15. We're like, this is the best thing ever. This is so good. And I'm like, "You be sure to text her, let her know we're here. Don't tell anybody. Because if Arlen knows that we're home, she's going to be up like, Mommy, like in an hour." And so we did. It was amazing. It was the best day I'd ever. I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm in bed about to go to sleep at 7:15. This is so good." I
walked out of the bedroom to go grab a Coke to bring back in so we could watch the movie. And Colton's like, "Hey, how long have you been here?" I'm like, "You stay out here, son."
No, and I still got to get my Stanley to have my water next to my bed. And Colton's like, "Why didn't you do date night?" Because he's on in the mornings. He's like, "It's date night." Yep. He's our little lover. He's so cute. He's like so romantic. I cannot wait for him to have a girlfriend. Anyways, he's always the one in the morning. "It's date night." So when I walk out to get my cup, he's like, "Why aren't you at date night? Why aren't you at date? You haven't left. You haven't gone. Go to. It's your date. Go to date night." And I was like, "We already went and came back." He's like, "Already?" I'm like, "Yeah." We eat fast.
But
how long were you gone? Like an hour. But it's fine.
think of that though. The kids are excited for us to do that. Hey, it's
Yeah.
your date night.
Yes.
So when they grow up, we lead by example. When they grow up, they'll do that for their women. And Harlan will expect that of her boyfriend.
Absolutely. And it's so cute because, you know, like, I feel like we have, like, fairly average parents. And, like, I never, like, if my parents, I remember one, and this is funny now remembering this. I remember one time my mom my dad gifted her a mink coat. And it was like so like 90s, like, you know, Robert De Niro movie thing. It was amazing. So she had her mink coat and they were going to a nice dinner and I was little. This was probably like 93 or something. And but me being that little, and I remember, and she had her perfume. Growing up, I had a sample of her perfume. Yeah, I had a sample of her because I loved it. It was the smell of my mom. I loved it. But she had her mink coat on. She had her perfume, and I was like, oh, you're going out to dinner. Like, it was like a thing. And I was so like, yes, you guys, you go live your life. Like, I was so excited for them. And so it was fun. But that was like one memory. I was like one. But I remember being so excited for them. So how cute is it for our kids to feel that, like, that enthusiasm towards a relationship and know, like, that's so funny. And as a kid, I think they chemically understand that's, you know, where I come from, my parents, and that's like a proud, like I was saying with Asher, like that creates a solid mental foundation for them of like my family, like that love, like that strong love that they feel like they come from.
And our boys are learning how to deal with women, you know?
How to deal with them.
Like most guys don't know how to deal with the woman. They don't. They're chasing them because they want to have sex with them.
Let's reiterate.
And they don't know what romance is.
How to properly treat a woman in a relationship.
Okay, sorry. Thank you for correcting me and making me better.
You're welcome.
But most guys don't have that example. Their dad comes home and he's like Al Bundy, Peg, get me a beer, kind of a situation.
Fact. Yes.
And I'm not saying I'm not that guy sometimes, right? But most of the time, you're like, honey, would you like dinner?
I always just do everything. I'm such a giver.
Beer, so
like, I'm always like, can I get you a Coke? Can I get this? Are you hungry? Do you want your salad with your dinner? Are you hungry now or later? Like,
and I think our kids are going to see, okay, well, if I find a girl that's not like my mom, that's not for me. And Harlan's going to be like, if I find a dude that's not like my dad's hard as nails, but he's good to my mom, right? And there's no, you know, do you think your parents love each other? It's like, shoot, dude, they got problems. They can't keep their hands off each other. They're always making sexually suggestive jokes to each other and noises that they think we don't know about. But again, that I believe it keeps them feeling really secure, and and as funny as that is, it's a good example of that. Like, if your parents aren't like that, and you haven't grown up your whole life like that, and you see your mom and dad kiss, you might be like, "Ooh, what are you guys doing?" Versus if they see us, they're like, "That's just them."
It's endearing.
Yeah, that's just them.
Yeah.
And so we're leading the way for our kids. There's a few people that I know, but I don't think anybody does things the way that we do in that facet. There's a lot of guys on the internet that pretend like they do that, but I don't think, we're literally, it's not a what night is date night,
and
where do you want to go this week?
It's not like, okay, well, we were doing that, but now we got really busy.
There's been times when we didn't have a lot of money and we still went to the park and went for a walk.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, back in the day. Yeah. No, and even now, like, if we have to do like a client dinner or like a business dinner or something, like we'll do that on date night, and then we will make sure without fail that we have another like time block later in the week where it can just be you and I.
And last week we got 2 date nights. We got Wednesday.
We did. That was amazing.
And then
it was needed.
And then we got Friday. And it's just even our nanny, she's like, do you guys want to have another date night this week? Like everybody's bought into it.
Yeah,
you know?
It's cute.
And
she knows we're not going to abuse it. We're not going out until midnight.
Because the week before we were at Tool. And so that was like our date night for the week. We still went on Wednesday, but like we went to date night for Tool with some friends, with a lot of friends. And so, but it's important. I think a lot of marriages fall apart because they don't, you know, I like walking by you and slapping you on the butt. A, you have an amazing butt, but B, it's like an endearing thing, you know? And I like going on date night with you. Even there's been times when you and me are fighting and I'm like, shut up, get your purse, get in the fucking car. You know, it's date night. Like,
I'm going to move as fast as I want to.
Yeah, it's the number one reason we argue and fight in our marriage is because I believe if we're supposed to be somewhere at 5, that means we should be there at 4:50. Amy believes we should be there at 5:03. And I grew up in a time where I got beat up by my stepfather if we were 1 minute late, right? I grew up in that generation. I'm not alone. There's a lot of boys that were raised that way in my generation. And I have or we didn't have phones and shit, so if you showed up somewhere late, you missed the ride to wherever you were going. So I was always scared I'm going to miss the ride. I'm always scared. Like when we used to fly commercial, that was a big fight point for us because I was always scared the jet was going to leave us.
Oh my gosh, I do not miss those days.
You know, I was always scared the jet was going to leave us. You're like, dude, we can show up whenever. It's like, we got to fucking get there early.
Oh my God. Oh.
It was a big, because I have that PTSD around that. But like date night has been something that we have invested in, and
I think it brings another crucial point too of why we feel so secure in ourselves and secure together in our marriages, that brings a point of you always keeping a certain level of maintenance on yourself, dare I say. Like, I know, like, okay, on Wednesday, I got to make sure, like, my hair is clean so I can do my hair, cute outfit. Like, you when you show up for it, and no, I do not wear athleisure. I swear to goodness I was pregnant last time I wore athleisure. But for me, too, it feels good for me to not even be, like, dressy, but I still had, like, my cute little, like, jeans and, like, little heels and a little casual top. It was casual, but it was still cute. For you, like, that feels good for you as a person to, like, really, like, you know, show, like, hey, I still got it going on. You know, I got kids. Man. And so it feels good for you to still be able to show up. And when that's a weekly thing, like it does so much to you for your headspace and your confidence.
It's funny to me because I just show up in whatever I worked in. I'm a dude,
yeah,
though,
you do.
You know, but
sometimes you'll change a hat.
Yeah, I don't look like a bum at work though. So I mean, this is me at work. You know,
you look good. You always look good. But for me to like always make sure I maintain myself, for you to maintain yourself, and it was always a running joke between us when we would see people have trouble and then they get divorced and then afterwards they'd look amazing. Like, why did you have to wait to look amazing until
they weren't dating?
Exactly, you waited to look amazing until you were divorced. Like, if you would have maintained that, if you had maintained yourself in your marriage, there's probably a lot of other things you weren't maintaining in your marriage. You know what I mean? So for us to have that, like, I always show up for myself. I make sure my stuff is on check. Like, there's so much more to that mentally, you know?
Yeah, funny you say that. I'm at the gym this morning. Me and Dante are cranking it out. And I mean, he got me running to the road, doing all this kettlebell crap, then running back to the road. And by the way, while I'm running to the road, I watched that cop write no less, like they do out front of here, no less than 7 tickets.
No.
I counted every one of them.
Wow.
Dude, he had such a system. He would pull them over, write them a ticket, 5 minutes later, be right back. And dude, like, I mean, 5 minutes. He had dude, he was on it, man. Like, I'd never seen, you know,
he's
like,
a routine
respect,
man.
bro, respect, right?
That's
I remember
amazing.
one time the cops were out front here and he pulled somebody over and I said, man, appreciate you guys keeping the speeders down over here. And he goes, nice signs, because the signs on our building say armed personnel, proceed with caution. Like, they got to love us.
Yes.
And so, because they know they ain't going to get a call for no crime here.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And so the cops there, anyway, I'm working out. Eric owns the gym.
Uh-huh.
And you know Eric, but Eric's the owner of the gym. Dante's my trainer. And Dante's got me, he's my trainer, he's telling me what to do. I come in there and Eric goes, Stewman, how much do you weigh right now? So I don't know, about 195. He says, man, you looking thick. I'm like, damn, fuck Eric.
Was that two C's?
But then,
or a CK?
But he said, no, man, you looking good. And I'm like, I'm glad you clarified that, sir. You know? Like, shit, I started running a little bit harder.
Which part looks thick?
You know,
up here is fine.
Went
Down here,
picked up
not
a little
so
bit
much.
heavier kettlebell. Like, oh, shit. But the reason why I say that is because I don't typically get complimented on how I look. I'm sure you do, and I compliment you, and you compliment me occasionally. But
I compliment you all the time. I was just whistling at you over in Taylor.
I guess I'm so used to it, but again, I see these guys, and like you said, they get a divorce, and they go lose their beer gut.
Yeah.
Well, maybe she might have liked touching you a little bit more if she didn't have to work around that giant belly you had before you broke up.
Yeah, I bet there's more that you stopped showing up for in your marriage besides just your looks.
I mentioned this yesterday. In the book of Proverbs, it says a nagging woman, better to live in a tussle-down hut than live with the nagging woman.
Tussle, what's a tussle down?
I think that's what it said.
Tussle down?
Anyway,
Well, I don't know
just hear it out.
I'm listening.
That's the point. And And I was explaining that what he's saying is it's not a dig on women. Most guys hear that and go, yeah, fucking nagging wife, what an annoyance. That's not what Solomon was saying. The only reason a woman nags you is if you're not doing your job right. You've never nagged me, hey Ryan, you need to go get a drug addiction. You need a side piece. You need to go cheat on me. You need to go drink more alcohol.
That's gold.
Right?
That's
a woman
so
only
true.
nags you. Mow the yard. Play with your kids. Be more attention to me. Do your job. Go get a job. Get off a drug. Stop smelling like smoke. Whatever those things are, that's the only reason a woman...
She's calling you out on something you need to change.
Fix. Yes. And so a lot of guys are like, my wife nags me all the time. And if I ever hear that from a guy, I'm like, you must be a lazy fuck.
Yeah.
Because your wife is not going to nag you to do anything negative.
That is so true.
And so
women everywhere are rejoicing at that.
But in the book of Proverbs, he mentions that. And a lot of guys read that and go, yeah, nagging woman's annoying. Imagine how annoying you must be to her to where she's resulted to nothing else but nag.
Yes.
It's not a dig on women. It's a dig on men. Better to live in a piece of shit. But here's the thing. Better to live in a piece of shit shack than to live with a nagging woman, which means if you do your job right, a woman won't nag. But here's what happens. The correlation between those two.
You will also not live in a shack.
I love you. So many people miss that.
Can we reach a high five?
They think it's the woman's fault. They think it's the woman's fault that she's nagging. God took the best part of a man, his ribs, that protected this part right here. And if you punch somebody in the stomach, it hurts like hell. It protected that. Took that rib, the most protected part of our body, gave it to a woman to be our protector. However, we are the provider, which means we are the grit and the grain and the strength. She is the protector. She is the voice of reason to a man. And that's why God created things. Everything is by intelligent design. And she will say to you, and this is why guys abuse women, she will say to you things that you need to hear.
But you necessarily don't want to hear it.
It's how you hear it that changes the game. Right? And look, there used to be a time, you don't nag me, but there used to be a time where I was married to someone that nagged me and I couldn't figure out, there was nothing I could do to make this person happy, right? But then I didn't show up. We didn't do date night. We didn't have certain things in order. And I don't know that would have fixed that anyway. But what I know now is like we go into this marriage with a lot of intention. And, you're like, hey, it's probably a good time for you to spend some time with the kids. And I'm like, fuck, I'm tired. But she's right. Hey, there's a kid in the bedroom in there that'd like for you to read a book to him. The thing with our house is I don't really put the kids to sleep. I go to sleep.
And I also...
They all come in like I'm the Godfather, and they come kiss the ring, give me a hug, and they
And I
leave,
respect the fact, too, that, you grew up with a single mom.
No, I didn't. My mom was single for like 1 year. I grew up with a mom
really?
and stepdad.
Oh, well, I'll stop showing you grace then.
Yeah. No, I literally... But nobody put me to sleep. It was like, hey, go to bed. Oh, fuck, I guess I better go to bed.
Well, and that's a piece, too. Your stepdad, when he came in the picture, he had never had a kid before. He didn't, it's not like when you have a child, the child is born, and then you raise the kid. There's
the boiling frog thing.
There's a process that you go through, and you learn how to be a parent. He didn't know necessarily how to be.
I was 7 or 8 by the time he showed up.
Yeah, so you had gone through that time with you not really being showed up for the way you should have been.
Yeah, because the mother pops was on the road all the time. My birth dad was on the road all the time.
So you didn't experience necessarily like the perfect, and there's no such thing as perfect, but there is a gosh darn template for kids and them going to bed and feeling emotionally sound. And yeah, we live it. And so I know that you may not necessarily think of firsthand. So I'm like, okay, you're going to come in here and we're going to do this. And so I just do, a lot of times I don't necessarily, I don't like asking people for things. I like to do the work and I like to create the environment. And it just happens to happen. Oh, you're welcome. You know what I mean? So you'll end up doing something I wanted you to do, but I'll tee it up. And then it's just there and you just knock it down. You don't even know that you knocked it down. I'm like, you're welcome. So I'll get, so especially with the kids and reading the books and this, okay, so go say goodnight, give the hugs, and this. So I make the process happen and you just kind of happen there. And I do, and I will say hey, go show daddy. I'll go to the, just so that they have that. I'm so passionate about them having one-on-one time with us in terms of them talking about their day, in terms of them really being able to open up about how they feel about things as kids. And it's hard when we have as many as we do. So a lot of times if I'm okay, this person really needs me. Like they had a hard day. I'm like, go see daddy. Go see.
See,
go see daddy.
you get that in the nighttime. I get it on the drive to and from the ranch.
But that's like once a week.
But it's 3 hours.
That's true. But aren't they on their iPads a lot? You sure?
No,
I don't know.
not usually.
I don't know. I think
Harlan's on the tractor
there's
with me
something
or hanging
special,
out.
and this is why I'm so big too about Colton too, who's our little huggy bear, who's very, very emotional. There's something so special, and this is, as a mom, it's so fascinating to me because no matter what type of personality the kid is, all kids do this. And right when you go to put him to bed, when they're all like teeth brushed, pajamas, cozy, fed, all the things, and they go to sleep, all of a sudden, they tell you their whole life story. It's like they get comfortable to now talk about all the things that they like if once they get in the car after school. How's your day at school? I get nothing.
Well,
It's like I have to play CSI detective for them to tell me anything that happened in their day.
Well, on the next episode, we should do family huddle. We should explain.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
But like it is so hard for me to get them to even talk to me or tell me anything. But when I go to put them to bed, they want to tell me everything. Like if I, like Jax, for instance, now he's getting old, he's getting to preteen, so he doesn't, I bet he still would if I still was, if I sat up there for 30 minutes and put his little butt to bed, I promise you he would take up every second talking my head off.
Your impression of Jax is hilarious. They wouldn't get it, but when you just put a hoodie on, you're like he's
in the like preteen stage of, he talks like this. Like he's trying to have a deeper voice. Always wears his hood up.
He's like Kenny from South Park.
It's hilarious. And it's funny, he purposely doesn't talk as loud because think about it, when you're a boy and your voice is changing.
It cracks.
It cracks. So he purposely doesn't talk very loud. And he's like, yeah, with that. And I'm like, huh?
Yeah, he's
Breakfast
like
sandwich?
me. He's pushed himself into a box because he knows he has to carry himself that way as the leader of the family. He's the leader of the kids.
Yeah,
and so he keeps himself into that.
Yeah.
Like he's the guy that's got that responsibility gene.
Yeah,
you know,
it's
like the other
adorable.
day, Colton. I tell him we get in the car here at the office, and I said, Colton, I got to put my car out in the morning for JP. Can you help me remind me? He goes home. He sets up the car on the counter. He's like, when you see this car, remember this in the morning. When
Yeah.
I walked out of the house, he's like, make sure you put the car out for our kids have the responsibility gene.
Regimented.
Yep.
Absolutely.
All right. So it's a good episode, good info. Yeah. Date night, an absolute must for any marriage that wants to thrive. Nailing it with Eddie. Do you have any suggestions for them?
Sure don't.
You're supposed to say it.
No.
Yes, say it.
I don't want to.
Yep. Say it.
What is it?
You're supposed to say pound the like button.
Pound the like button. Hit subscribe. We're coming out with new merch. Except we're not.
Yeah, there was no product placement this episode. You didn't have
damn it.
You can buy these hats. No, you can't. You got to work to get the one I'm wearing today.
Oh yeah,
Forget
you
about
got to earn the.
We don't sell the Caddo Ridge ones. Those are earned. You can buy these shirts.
That T-shirt.
You can buy these shirts on
sit
our.
up, get a little posture, give a little angle. There's some words on the sleeve. Give them a full demo, honey. Full demo.
Yep. It says my love language is referrals.
Sure is.
So take note, everybody. Thank you for watching. Final words.
Thanks.
All right. Catch you next week.